The biggest expense that you're going to face in your career isn't your mortgage, it isn't your car, or even your kids' college. It's your taxes. And guess what? The more you make, the more they take. But here's a question. What if you could legally slash your tax bill without working harder or earning less? Most high income earners, they completely ignore this one simple strategy, but those who use it to build wealth, they do so much faster. And in this video, we're going to talk about a tax strategy that literally could help you pay little to no taxes throughout your career. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Jeff Anzalone, a dentist, not a CPA, so don't take this as direct tax advice. Make sure that you always consult your CPA. Now, let's start off with something a little bit frustrating. We spend, think about it, 15 to 20 or more years in school, and we learn nothing about money or taxes. Think about that. The entire educational system, it drills into us, especially if you're a physician, a dentist, attorney, somebody that goes to school a long time, that what does it drill into us? The longer that we stay in school, the higher our income is going to be. But with a higher income comes what? A higher tax bill. Again, if you're a high income earner, if you've gone to school for a long time, you typically have taken out, like me, back in the day, massive loans, going into a lot of student loan debt. And then because we're in school a longer time, we really delay the process of earning real money. And what do? This causes us to start our careers way later than most. I didn't open my practice until I was about 30 years old. Meanwhile, I've got my college buddies that I graduated with. They've been earning for years before I even started making one single dime. That's a huge gap. And guess what? If you don't learn how to manage taxes, you're going to spend the next 30 or 40 years trapped in the rat race, working, paying off all your debt, and handing a fortune over to the guys at the IRS. But here's the good news. Millionaires and multimillionaires, they know how to play the tax game. They invest in real estate, not just for the income, which is what most people get into it for, but for the tax benefits. And one of the biggest tax breaks that you'll get, something called depreciation. And if you really want to supercharge it, then you're going to need to get accelerated depreciation. But before we dive into accelerated depreciation, let's start off with the basics, okay? Depreciation is a tax benefit. It's a tax benefit that the IRS gives you and me and allows us to deduct the cost of an asset like real estate over time. Even though if you go and invest in a property, does it typically go up or down? Think about the house that you're in. If you sold a house, did you sell it for more or less? Probably more, right? Because typically property do what? They go up in value. So even though property usually goes up in value, the IRS will allow you to write off a part of that property every year as if it were going down in value. That's right. If you can grasp that concept right there, then you'll understand why wealthy people invest in real estate. And as far as depreciation, there's two main types. The first one is what's called straight line depreciation. This is, and you've probably heard this from your accountant, this is like the standard method where you take the property's value and you deduct it over 27 and a half years. So for instance, let's say that I invest a lot in RV parks and mobile home parks. So let's say that you buy an RV park and the RV park that you buy is $1.5 million. And the land value is worth $300,000. Why is that important? That's important because you're not able to depreciate the land. The IRS doesn't allow you to depreciate the land, only the RV park. So what is that going to leave you? That's going to leave you with $1.2 million. And then with standard depreciation, you take that and you divide it by 27 and a half years. And roughly this is about $44,000 that you're able to deduct per year, each year, over that 27 and a half years. That is how standard depreciation works. But who wants to wait 27 and a half years to get the tax benefits, right? Which leads us to something called accelerated depreciation. And you can get that by something called a cost segregation study. It's kind of funny that I'm making this video today because I'm actually going over to one of our mobile home parks across town that we recently acquired, and I am doing a Zoom call with our cost segregation study specialist. Why am I doing a Zoom call with them? Well, instead of them sending somebody out, flying them across the country, putting up in a hotel, charging us all of those expenses, if you have a property that you can drive to, like the one that I can, you simply get on a Zoom call with them with your phone. They tell you they want you to film. Like, I want you to film the fence, or I want you to film the mailboxes, or let me look at the roads, let me look at some of the mobile homes you have, or whatever. And that's it. And they'll go through it and they'll put together a plan to segregate out the costs. That's why it's called cost segregation, because the IRS says that not everything in your building or your property goes down in value the same. And what this allows you to do, it allows you to take and accelerate and front load a lot of those tax benefits by, again, segregating or separating different parts of the property into faster depreciation categories. And I've written a couple on the board for you. The first one is furniture and fixtures. So we're going to stay with the RV park example, the $1.2 million it's worth after you deduct the land. So for instance, let's say in this, you have a little office, okay? Furniture and the fixtures, cost segregation study specialists come in and they say, hey, Jeff, you got $200,000 worth of furniture and fixtures. Furniture and fixtures in the category, the IRS says you're able to deduct over a 5-year period. You can speed it up. So instead of waiting 27 and a half years, you can actually deduct those over the first 5 years. So if you take the amount that they gave me, $200,000, divided by 5 years, now I'm allowed to depreciate this portion of it, $40,000 a year for 5 years. Land improvements, which the majority of the mobile home parks and the RV parks that we invest in, that's where you're going to get the majority of your write-off for land improvements. For this one, let's say it's $150,000. This category is 15 years. So you divide $150,000 divided by $15,000. That allows us to speed up the depreciation. And now it's 10 grand a year. And when you subtract that out, the remaining balance of the building is $850,000. And then you just put that on the straight line depreciation. So now when you add all of this up, the 40,000, the 10 grand, and the 30,909, you're going to come up with $80,909 per year. This is your annual depreciation cost with cost segregation versus it's almost double, $44,000 a year with straight line depreciation. See the difference? Now, these are just made up numbers, but this just shows you, this is a very simple example. This just shows you by accelerating the depreciation, you can increase the cash flow, you can reduce your taxes much sooner, and thus, what is it doing? You're maximizing your real estate investment benefits. But again, like I spoke with you when we first started this video today, before you get going in all this, before you dive in, make sure you're working with a specialist, a good cost segregation specialist, and make sure that you're working with an accountant that is skilled and knows what they're doing with real estate. There's plenty of them out there. You just got to find the right one, because you want to make sure that you follow all the rules and you do it right. So this advanced strategy, it not only is going to increase cash flow by reducing the taxes sooner, but again, it's also maximizing the financial benefits of any of the real estate investments that you're getting in. I invest passively in all different types of real estate syndications, mainly RV parks and mobile home parks. And one of the biggest misconceptions is how you can invest as a limited partner, how you can invest as a passive investor in these and potentially lower your W-2 or active income. There's a lot of misconceptions about that out there. And if you want to learn more about the actual tax benefits that you can receive as a passive investor, investing in real estate syndications, do me a favor, check out this video.